were told the Bible contains the whole story, that nothing was missing, that everything you needed to know about humanity's origins was already revealed. But what if that isn't true? What if an entire book, once revered by ancient prophets, was later hidden, suppressed, and erased from the canon? A book so powerful they feared what would happen if humanity read it, because within its pages lies a secret that could remove the cosmic blindfold, revealing who you truly are and your real place in the universe. This is the Book of Enoch, hidden for centuries, buried beneath layers of secrecy and silence, and within its pages lies a vision so strange, so unsettling, that even today most churches refuse to speak its name. It tells the story of the Watchers, celestial beings who came down from the heavens, bringing with them the ancient wisdom of the cosmos, knowledge so profound it reshaped the destiny of humankind. Knowledge of the stars, knowledge of the earth, knowledge of power and destruction. Why was this prophecy erased? Why were these secrets buried? And who or what didn't want you to know the truth? Humanity was never meant to hear this story. It carries a truth so disruptive, so shattering, that it threatens to tear apart the carefully crafted illusion we've all been living inside for so long. But deep down, you've always known there's more to this reality than we've been told. You sense it in the unanswered questions, the missing pages of history, the contradictions no one can explain. And when you look up at the endless night sky, something inside you whispers, there's more. In this video, we'll unravel the mystery of Enoch's forbidden vision. We'll uncover who the Watchers truly were, what they gave to humanity, and why those in power tried to erase their story from history itself. And along the way, we'll trace the hidden threads between Enoch's prophecy and an ancient war beyond the veil, a battle for your consciousness, your freedom, and your very soul. Because once you see what Enoch saw and how it mirrors the ancient Gnostic warnings, you'll understand why they tried so hard to keep it from you. The story begins thousands of years before the birth of Christ, long before the rise of Christianity, long before the Bible, as we know it, even existed. Somewhere around 300 BCE, ancient scribes began recording visions unlike anything the world had seen before. These writings, later known as the Book of Enoch, were passed between mystics, priests, and secretive sects across Judea and beyond. For centuries, the text was revered by early Jewish and Christian communities alike. Even the New Testament references Enoch's visions, hinting at mysteries that once shaped entire belief systems. But something happened. By the 4th century, the Book of Enoch was suddenly declared too dangerous. Quietly, deliberately, it was removed from most biblical canons. And unless you were part of a hidden Ethiopian sect that safeguarded its pages, you would never read its words again. But why? What secret was so unsettling, so threatening, that it had to be erased from history? Within its passages lies a story of heavenly beings, the Watchers, who descended to earth, crossing boundaries never meant to be broken. They revealed wisdom once reserved for the divine, how to read the hidden patterns of the stars, how to forge weapons from the earth and command the elements, and even how to shape desire itself, teaching humanity arts that blurred the line between creation and corruption. And humanity was forever changed. But with forbidden knowledge comes consequence. The Book of Enoch describes how chaos began to spread across the earth. Violence, corruption, and the rise of beings unlike anything the world had ever seen. These were the Nephilim, giants of immense size, strength, and hunger, born from the unions between the Watchers and human women. They devoured the land's resources, consumed animals, and eventually turned on mankind itself, plunging creation into imbalance and bloodshed. This isn't just a myth. This was a cosmic rebellion, a war between realms over knowledge, power, and control. And perhaps that's exactly why this book was buried. Because if humanity understood who the Watchers were, if we knew what they gave us, and if we understood the true nature of the forces influencing our reality, the foundations of religion, authority, and control would crumble overnight. But here's where it gets even more interesting. The Gnostics, early mystics and seekers of hidden wisdom, spoke of Archons, beings who ruled unseen realms, manipulating human perception and trapping souls within an illusory world. Two traditions, two names, one recurring pattern and theme. Were the Watchers and the Archons two faces of the same hidden power? Or were they rival factions in an even deeper cosmic struggle, one offering forbidden knowledge, the other seeking to keep us enslaved in ignorance? Perhaps the truth isn't so black and white, but hidden in shades of grey. What if humanity was given this knowledge too soon, long before we were ready to understand it, or control the forces it would awaken? And what if the Nephilim knew this all along, that the knowledge was never meant to empower us, but to entrap us, guiding humanity, step by step, into building its own prison, stone by stone, until the day they return to reclaim what they've always considered their property? The texts don't give us easy answers, and maybe that's the point, because once you begin to connect the dots, you realize something unsettling. This isn't just about an ancient book. It's about your reality and the false illusion built to entrap your mind and shape the way you see the world. And as we go deeper, you'll begin to realize this isn't just a story about celestial beings, ancient prophets, or even Enoch himself. It's a story about you, your origins, your purpose, and the hidden forces shaping the reality you live in right now. Enoch wasn't just a prophet. He wasn't just a scribe. He was a witness. According to the ancient texts, Enoch was chosen to see things no human was ever meant to see. Taken beyond the veil of the physical world, guided into realms where the laws of nature bend and the boundaries between heaven and earth dissolve. In his visions, Enoch encountered beings of immense power, the Watchers. These weren't the gentle angels of Sunday sermons. The Watchers were sentinels, guardians of higher realms, tasked with observing humanity, but forbidden from interfering. But they broke the law. The texts describe how a group of 200 Watchers, led by a figure named Shemihaza, descended to the earthly plane. They came not as messengers, but as rebels. And what they gave humanity changed the course of history forever. But here's the question few dare to ask. Were these the same fallen angels whispered about in later scriptures? Was this the real story behind Lucifer's rebellion? A raw, unfiltered account that was later rewritten, softened, and buried. They taught us secrets the heavens had tried to keep hidden. The mapping of the stars and celestial cycles, the forging of weapons and the alchemy of metals, the arts of magic, enchantments, and sorcery. Cosmic knowledge that unlocked humanity's hidden potential. But what humanity believed were gifts were never gifts at all. It was like placing fire in the hands of a child, powerful, dangerous, and far beyond our understanding. This wasn't just knowledge. This was initiation, one that carried a terrible cost. Alongside wisdom came chaos. With weapons came war. With forbidden rituals came corruption. And with interbreeding between Watchers and humans came the birth of the Nephilim, beings of enormous size, strength, and appetite. Enoch's writings describe these hybrid offspring as destructive forces that devoured the earth, drained its resources, and threw creation into imbalance. But here's where the mystery deepens. Who were these Watchers really? Were they divine rebels or something else entirely? The Book of Enoch paints them as angels, but Gnostic traditions add another layer. They speak of the Archons, shadowy rulers of this material realm, who distort perception, manipulate thought, and keep humanity trapped in a false reality. Different names, same patterns. Could the Watchers be early descriptions of archonic forces, entities outside human awareness who tempt us with knowledge, but at a hidden cost? Here's the paradox. The Watchers awakened humanity, but they may have also enslaved us. Because forbidden knowledge can be a double-edged sword. Power without wisdom breeds chaos, and secrets revealed before their time can shatter entire worlds. That's why the Gnostics hid their teachings within symbols and codes. It's why Jesus spoke in parables, revealing truth only to those ready to understand. And it's why so many ancient traditions guarded their wisdom, knowing that in the wrong hands, divine knowledge can become a weapon. And this might explain why the Book of Enoch was erased from mainstream religion. Those in power feared what these revelations could awaken. But today, understanding what happened in those ancient times isn't just history. It's the key to understanding who we are, what's been hidden from us, and why humanity was never meant to know these secrets so soon. Because if humanity truly understood that powerful beings once walked among us, if we understood that our thoughts, desires, and even our civilizations may have been shaped by forces we cannot see, then everything we believe about God, creation, and control would instantly crumble. But Enoch's visions didn't end there, because after the rebellion of the Watchers, something even stranger was revealed. The texts describe how Enoch was taken up into the heavens, guided beyond the layers of reality through strange cosmic gates and luminous realms. And there, he was shown a prophecy, a vision of judgment, a warning about the Watchers, the Nephilim, and the fate of humanity itself. A prophecy so powerful, so unnerving, that even more than 2,000 years later, the world still isn't ready to face it. Enoch's journey didn't end with the rebellion of the Watchers. It was only the beginning. The texts describe how Enoch was taken beyond the boundaries of the earth, into the hidden architecture of the cosmos itself, through vast crystalline gates, across oceans of stars, into realms where time folds in on itself and light bends into infinity. And there, Enoch was shown something few mortals could comprehend, a prophecy, a revelation about the Watchers, humanity, and the ultimate fate of this reality. In his vision, Enoch saw the Watchers standing before a great and luminous throne. Above them, a presence, infinite, radiant, beyond all words, known only as the Ancient of Days. The Watchers begged for forgiveness. They pleaded for their place to be restored. But the judgment was absolute. Their rebellion had disrupted the balance of creation. Their forbidden gifts had accelerated humanity's descent into chaos, and their offspring, the Nephilim, had become a plague upon the earth. The prophecy revealed their punishment. The Watchers were cast into deep shadowed realms beneath the earth, bound in chains until the final judgment. The Nephilim wiped from the face of the earth in a cataclysm, unlike anything humanity had ever witnessed. But Enoch's vision didn't stop there, because this wasn't just about then, this was about now. Enoch was shown cycles, great turning points in human history where these hidden forces would rise again. Not as angels descending from the heavens, but as whispers in the mind, impulses in the heart, and systems of control woven into the very fabric of society. And this is where the Gnostic parallels become impossible to ignore. The Gnostics warned of Archons, beings that feed on fear, ignorance, and obedience. They described a false reality, constructed like a labyrinth, where humanity is kept distracted, divided, and blind to its true power. Whether you call them Watchers or Archons, one thing is becoming apparent. They have been influencing humanity since the dawn of time. But here's the twist. The Watchers didn't just give us forbidden knowledge, they gave us a choice. Because knowledge, by itself, is neutral. It's a tool. It can be used to awaken or to enslave. The real question is, who wields it? And who benefits when you remain asleep? If reality has been shaped by hidden forces since the beginning, the stories you were taught about God, angels, and creation were carefully edited. And if books like Enoch were removed because they reveal too much, then what else are we not being told? What else lies buried beneath centuries of silence? This is the deeper reason the Book of Enoch still matters today. Because it's not just an ancient text, it's a map, a coded warning about the patterns of control that repeat over and over until humanity chooses to see through the illusion. And maybe that's why you're here right now, not by chance, but because something in you remembers. Something deep inside you knows that what Enoch saw wasn't just a prophecy for his time, it's a prophecy for ours. Understanding Enoch's vision isn't enough. You have to apply it to your life, your mind, and your consciousness if you want to break free from the systems the Watchers set in motion thousands of years ago. The story of Enoch isn't just about the past, it's about now. It's about you. Because if the Watchers gave humanity forbidden knowledge, if ancient texts were erased to keep you from knowing the truth, and if forces beyond your perception are still shaping the way you think, feel, and believe, then the real question becomes, how do you break free? And here's the secret they never wanted you to know. It doesn't start with fighting the systems out there. It begins with awakening the system in here. Your mind, your awareness, your perception. The Gnostics warned of beings, shadowy rulers of this realm, that feed on unconsciousness. Beings that thrive when you live on autopilot, when you accept every thought as your own, when you never pause to ask, who benefits when I believe this? Who planted this fear inside me? Who profits when I stay asleep? This is where the real initiation begins, because Enoch's prophecy wasn't just about the fall of the Watchers. It was a warning to humanity. Learn to see the forces shaping your reality, or be controlled by them. Awakening begins with a single shift, becoming aware of the stories you've been told, the authorities you've been taught to trust, and the beliefs you've accepted about God, life, and even yourself. Not to reject them blindly, but to question them deeply, to pull at the threads, to see what unravels, because the real prison isn't built of stone and steel. It's built in the mind, and the key to escaping it is remembering who you truly are. This isn't about ancient angels and forbidden knowledge. This is about waking up from the illusions that have shaped humanity for thousands of years. And if you've made it this far, you already feel it. Something inside you is remembering. You were never meant to stay asleep. If you want to go deeper into this journey, I've put together a free ebook called Escaping the Illusion, a Gnostic guide to mastering reality. It explores hidden teachings and techniques to help you reclaim your awareness and break free from the forces shaping your life. The link is in the description below. The story of Enoch is more than an ancient manuscript. It's a mirror, a map, a warning. Because hidden inside its pages is a truth humanity wasn't supposed to find. A truth about where we come from, who's been guiding us, and why so much of our history has been erased. The Watchers gave humanity knowledge that lit a fire in the mind of our species, but that same fire threatened to burn down the very systems of control that keep humanity docile and obedient. And so, the book was buried, the prophecy hidden, the story was silenced. But here's the thing about truth. You can bury it, you can suppress it, you can hide it for thousands of years, but eventually, it always returns. Remember this, the real power of Enoch's vision isn't in the angels, the Watchers, or the Nephilim. It's in what it awakens within you. Because the forces trying to control humanity haven't disappeared. They've simply changed form. Today, they don't descend from the clouds. They hide in systems, screens, and stories designed to keep you asleep. But you're waking up. And once you see the patterns, once you question the narratives, once you reclaim your attention, the illusion begins to crumble. So the choice, as always, is yours. Remain within the story they gave you, or step beyond it into the reality they never wanted you to find. If this video resonated with you, and if you want to keep unlocking these hidden truths, make sure to subscribe to the Gnostic Eye. Don't forget to like and share your thoughts in the comments. The Book of Enoch is just the first doorway. What lies beyond may change everything you thought you knew about reality, your life, and even your soul itself. But this is only the beginning, and the deeper we go, the more impossible it becomes to turn back.